Greetings, everyone, and welcome once again to Goth Tarot, our collective weekly reading that works with the darker or more shadowy sides or issues of our lives. So this is a collective reading. It's a short reading. I use 3 different decks. I use the Crow's Magic Tarot, I use the Gothic Tarot, and I use the Sun Knight Tarot. We'll get started then. So the first card pertains to your dark wish. What insights or wisdoms do your dark philosophies give you? Well, what darkness can you share with others? What revelations might you appreciate? As you can see, I have my set decked out in Super Tarot Love Month drag, as it were. I'll explain more about that in a moment. Your dark gift. Your dark gift is the Queen of Cups. Look deep into your imagination this week. Even let yourself exploit the darker images, the shadowy things that go on in your mind, whether they be doubts or worries. These bits of imagination or fantasy will inform you this week. They will be possible philosophies or insights or revelations. So now, what are the dark struggles this week? What changes, challenges, or limitations will also give you insights into darkness? What can you learn from your burdens, obstacles, or obsessions that you may come across? Your dark struggles are represented by these cards. The Four of Swords, and the Sun. Perhaps you are challenged by the need to pull away and to pull into your own time of rest or recuperation. The card almost looks like somebody mourning somebody who is gone. I'm not saying someone's going to die, of course, but I am saying that maybe your struggle this week is telling you that what you need to do is pull away and look to an inner light that's represented by the sun here for the illumination you need. But I am suggesting also too that maybe even this will be challenging to you this week. That maybe what insights you find may actually also provide a way of considering what your limitations are. That in fact maybe your limitations are you are not able to see out of that darkness. So you will be challenged by that. And maybe it is just as well to also consider even deeper darkness that could be represented by that Four of Swords. It's one thing to rest or recuperate. It may be another to really move into a much deeper part of your psyche, your subconscious, through meditations or other kinds of workings to really understand what those struggles are. Or at least I hope so. So now we're going to move on to the final 3 cards. And for that I use the Night Sun Tarot. turned around the way they should be. Hello. These three final cards represent your dark truth, your dark sacrifice, and your dark redemption. Your dark truth. What reality seems oppressive yet insightful? And here we have the Five of Cups. The reality that you are suffering some losses. You are feeling some things have not really gone your way at all. And what you could find from this is that there's something else to look into. There's something that's behind you. There's something that's a side of you. There is something else that you are not seeing. It may be that you are overwhelmed emotionally. The Five of Cups can do that to you. You need to consider, just as I said over here, that there are ways to try to go deeper into the darkness or look more towards the light that will both be helpful with these struggles. Card 5, your dark sacrifice. What sorrow will you bear, and how will that make you judge yourself? And it's the reversed Seven of Wands. You judge yourself because you don't feel you've been up to the task and that you've let down your part of the bargain. You've let down your part of the agreement. If there was a particular thing that others were depending on, or if you were depending on yourself to achieve something, to achieve a victory, to achieve a mastery, or to hold yourself in the position of being able to meet things, to be ready. You feel you have failed there, and you feel that maybe time will show how badly that will come to you. Remember the previous card. All may not be loss. There are things that maybe you haven't been able to consider or understand. This reading really provokes the idea that a lot more of your own personal meditations and reflections will be needed. This is merely, hopefully, helping you understand that. Now, your dark redemption this week. What is the final realization about all this? What have you learned from it? And it's the reversed Page of Wands. What you may realize here is that there is no good news coming externally to you. What you need to do is learn skills and networking with others to help you achieve these mutual goals. That nothing really changes from outside. You have to be the person that goes to the outside. You have to move out there, challenge yourself one way or the other, but you have to be that person that moves forth to find and retrieve the message. The message may not be coming to you. That which can bring you change, you need to go out and seek it. So that's what I have for Goth Tarot this week, and I hope that was illuminating, or it casts the shadows the right way for you. Please stay tuned, where I will be doing my special Super Tarot Love Month Goth Tarot spell or working. It should be interesting. It's going to be about self-illumination and healing. So that's coming up right after this. And I hope to see everybody next week, same time, same Goth channel. So thank you everyone for staying for the spell. This spell is about illumination and working with your shadow side. It's also a spell of healing. Before we begin, I'd like to say a prayer. We're saying a prayer to the goddess Persephone to look over us and grant her gentle blessings for this working. Although Persephone is best known as Demeter's daughter, the maiden who was abducted by Hades, lord of the underworld, the Greek version of her myth reflects the usurpation of female mysteries by a patriarchal mythology. Her myth exemplifies the cycles of nature, for when Persephone is underground, plants do not bloom, and when she returns to earth, spring ensues. Persephone is the goddess of the soul, for it is in the darkness of the underworld, analogous to the unconscious, that soul is formed. In the Orphic mysteries, Persephone granted wisdom to the initiate, for she is the goddess of a dark, uncomfortable wisdom, a goddess of dark and frightening power. Persephone represents the ability to rule over the aspects of ourselves that are terrifying in the extreme. And so with that, we dedicate our ritual of the soul, healing, and self-illumination. The card and the information about Persephone comes from the Goddess Knowledge Cards by Susan Seddon-Boulay, text by Michael Babcock. For this working, I am hugely indebted to the work Tarot Shadow Work by Christine Jetty. I have freely adapted from the working, so it is a little different. It is more of a spell. It's from Chapter 6, Embracing Your Shadow. In connection with this ritual, I am using the 13 tarot, as it is known, XII, that's the back of them. It's a pretty dark one. I'm not using it in my regular Goth Tarot readings. So let's move that candle aside a little bit. And for this working, we're only using the major arcana. The first card is the empty vessel. What needs to be healed? And for that we have Major Arcana 20, Judgment. This is the focus and represents the area that is ready to be filled and healed. Concentrate on what the shadow needs. So with this here, what needs to be filled is our spiritual direction and our spiritual growth. How will we do that? What will begin the healing process? What will begin the integration of the shadow? Death, change. What will give shape or form to the healing process? What will shape the integration of the shadow? Justice. Taking appropriate actions of fairness, acceptance, what is at the center or central to the healing process? What is at the center of integrating the shadow? What will heal the spiritual dimension that is expressed in the first card? Strength. The need to apply even more fairness that was expressed previously by justice, the need to put into actual deeds what came as thought here. What is needed to heal? What is needed for this to heal? What is necessary for integration of this shadow? The Chariot. Finding your voice, finding a way to liberate the action you need, finding a way to make it out in the open. Finally, what gift will you receive as a result of your work with the healing? The Emperor. Control, autonomy, your own authority over that, the divine healing you need to do in your realm of spirit. Find your spirit, find your change, find your fairness, find your strength, find your drive, find your fate. Find your spirit, find your change, find your fairness, find your strength, find your drive, find your fate. Find your spirit, find your change, find your fairness, find your strength, find your drive, find your fate.